understand that the Maroons, your people, have got a significantly different history than the rest of Jamaica.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that. Where does that come from?
First of all, that our foreparents had gotten their freedom before most of the other slaves that were on the plantations in Jamaica, in that they had taken it upon themselves to liberate themselves from the plantation. And they live in the mountains, and they fought against the British. Well, they fought against the Spaniards, but most of the fighting was against the British. Since there wasn't any gold around, any precious mineral, then their next best bet was agriculture, and sugarcane would have flourished. So because of that, they began to import more slaves. And importing more slaves to come and work on the plantation, where they knew for sure that outside there were people running around free, of African descent.
Yes.
And they were constantly invading these plantations. They would go there to make off with other slaves that they want to join up with them and fight in the mountains against the British. And they will go there and take off, you know, with the women that they want to come and live with them as well. So, and they also set up like a network of spies on the plantation, you know, people that could, slaves that would feed them with information. Whenever they were under, you know, imminent attack and things like that, they will get that information firsthand. And also, there were plantations that were close enough to the mountains where our ancestors would have been fighting. And these plantation owners were more or less siding with the Maroons. Not to say that they would does that openly or go out to fight with them, but they would not assist the soldiers, the British soldiers, in a manner that the soldiers thought was befitting to them, because being so close to the Maroons, their plantation could be overrun at any time.
So how do the Maroons relate to the rest of Jamaica today? If I were a Maroon woman, would I be focused on marrying a Maroon man so that I would have Maroon children and continue the line, or?
I don't think that is necessarily so at this point in time. What happened is that many years ago, it was customary for a Maroon woman to marry a Maroon man. It was not, the communities were that close, meaning to say you don't marry outside of the community so easily, because marriage were basically pre-arranged.
I see.
Meaning to say, a man would not go out and ask for a woman. It was the parent of that man that would have gone out and say, well, you know,
you'll marry her.
Right.
Yes.
So that's how it was. But today, it is a whole different situation. People marry to whoever they feel like marrying. But then, at the back of everybody's mind, I want to marry somebody that I know something about. How do you go about that? You generally end up marrying the persons who live closer to you, or the people who you know.
Yes,
because
you grew up with them.
You grow up with them, and you understand them. You know the ways about them. People are free to marry where you want to marry, but you know.
It just happens that they're who you spend time with, and so that's who you fall in love with and marry.
That's
and
it.
have children with them.
That's how it goes.
One of the big improvements that they've made in Maroon Town recently is a new school. The Colonel showed me the classroom with the children, and they were very obedient to the Colonel and what he had to say.
Man, you know, I think it's your rest time now, you know. It's 1 o'clock, right? So it's your rest from 12 to 1.
Please stand. Okay. We're going to sing a song. I'm so glad I feel so fine. Every little cell in my body is well. Every little cell in my body is out. Every little cell in my body is well.
The respect the children showed the Colonel made me realize the Maroons have a life that respects traditional ways. Because the Maroons had not accepted slavery the way others had, their culture still flourished to the benefit of all Jamaicans.